I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend, like that.
Hello, and welcome to Fuck Your Feelings, the show where people say what they think. This is not a safe space from freedom of speech. You need to hear views outside of your own bubble. If you get offended, good. Think you just might learn something. We are here to offend and trigger those who can be, and have an enlightened, intelligent discussion for the rest of you who aren't afraid of having an open mind. We give a platform to all speech. You should hear it all. It's said that sunlight is the best disinfectant. We are a free marketplace of ideas. If you were triggered, see a firing squad.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama speak, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often. Steady. No, seriously, it's a dramatic event. He speaks about America in a way that has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with the feeling we have about our country. And that is an
with the
objective
temperament
assessment.
of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Has been slashing our armed forces, won't commit to 2%, is happy for us not to be able to defend our islands. I think Mr Juncker's given us the answer. We're going to do it at an EU level. We're going to have a European army. Now, when I raised this last year with the Deputy Prime Minister, Liberal Democrat Nick Clegg, he said it was a dangerous fantasy to even talk about an EU army. I hope every Liberal Democrat voter has heard Mr Verhofstadt today, the leader of the European Liberals, crying out for militarisation at an EU level. Mr Verhofstadt, I know that by heckling you increase your hits on YouTube, because otherwise nobody in Europe wants to listen to you.
So Mr Tannock, I understand what you're saying. I understand something ghastly has happened here. But before you take military action, you need to be certain you're going to make things better and not worse.
Well, I'm afraid what we got was you. And I'm sorry, but after that performance earlier that you gave, and I don't want to be rude, but you know, really, you have the charisma of a damp rag and the appearance of a low-grade bank clerk. You appear to have a loathing for the very concept of the existence of nation-states. Perhaps that's because you come from Belgium, which of course is pretty much a non-country. I have to ask you, having listened to your words this morning, just what planet are you on? This pretense that everything's going incredibly well. The EU is mired in deep structural crisis. You say the EU is fantastic in a recent comment. You're supporting the destruction of national democracy. But it's with reference to Greece that I'm most concerned about you, because when faced with their recent enslavement, you said, we lived for many years as a non-sovereign country under Soviet occupation. For us, European integration is not a threat to sovereignty, because we experienced not long ago a serious threat to our sovereignty. So what are you saying? That this isn't quite as bad as the USSR? Is that really good enough for your people? At the time, post-1945, there were some very sensible ideas put together, namely the Council of Europe. Let's have a Europe where we sit down together, where we have a free trade agreement, where we agree minimum standards on work, on the environment. We can do all of these things without a European Commission, without a European Parliament, and without a European Court of Justice. We've done it in security terms with NATO. Yes, it'll mean you'll lose your job, Mr Barroso, but apart from that, why can't we do things as mature democracies? Yes, I want you sacked, Mr Schultz, as well. I want you all fired. We can do those things, and that is a positive way forward. By taking away from people their ability to govern themselves and transferring that power to the European Commission, we're headed for a Europe of rebellion and violence. Let's take the democratic route.
Until we get the full report and we get the intelligence right. We went to war in Iraq. Being told that Saddam had weapons of, why don't you shut up and listen for a change? You really must be the vilest, rudest man in European politics. And you rant on, and the chair lets you get away with it because you're the former Prime Minister of Belgium. Well, there we are.
The point I was making is this. The opportunity is being seized, and Mr Juncker said we must convey to Russia that we are serious. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Juncker? We do not want any part of an EU army, and I doubt the rest of the peoples of Europe do either. Thank you.